Enduringly relevant literature is able to transcend time and context and consequently discuss the universal truth that often characters can be found in the pursuit of power, which commonly eventuates in the corruption of their moral framework. Through this degradation of morality, an individual can become engulfed in their inner facade and grow corrupted with jealousy. Tom Ripley's ceaseless pursuit of power is ultimately the catalyst for his loss of human nature as he becomes consumed in his facade and his personal insecurity becomes evident with the envy of Dickie's indulgent and hedonistic lifestyle. This is visible through the water motif, which ultimately reflects the fragility of one's humanity. The boat scene where Tom kills Dickie depicts Tom Ripley's eroded human nature as he can be viewed as overcome with jealousy and effectively compelled towards a state of indignation and brutality. The shift to the non-diegetic siren song and the fast cuts between Dickie and Tom increase the confronting nature of the scene. This is done to reflect Tom's fragmented and disjointed humanity as he becomes corrupted with jealousy. This Othello also conveys the inexorable consistency of the corruption of one's humanity as a result of their Machiavellian attributes and tendencies. This can be seen through the character of Othello, whose humanity becomes eroded and dismantled as his jealousy of Cassio develops. Paralleling that of Tom Ripley, Othello's degradation of humanity is reflected through the water motif. In Act 4, Scene 2, Othello accuses Desdemona of being unfaithful, the fountain of which my current runs or else dries up to be discarded thence. The water as a metaphor of Othello's love of Desdemona has dried up, demonstrating his loss of human nature, which is ultimately at the hands of Iago's manipulation. Hence, the degradation of Othello's humanity was a consequence of Machiavellian tendencies and manipulation. Correspondingly, the fragility of one's human nature is reflected through the poison motif in Othello. In Act 4, Scene 1, Othello says to Iago, "Get me some poison, Iago, this night. I'll not expostulate with her, lest her body and beauty unprovide my mind again." Here, the poison motif reflects the jealous and insecure nature of Othello at this point in the play as he plots to kill Desdemona, and how Othello's humanity is evidently corrupted due to the imperious and Machiavellian nature of Iago. Through the corruption of jealousy and as an individual becomes engulfed in the facade, their humanity begins to deteriorate. Thus, in both texts, universal truths concerning the human compulsion of power and the ways in which it can erode human nature are Literature is constantly evolving and adapting contemporary ideas, however universal truths regarding humanity's fixation of power and the vexatious ramifications on their human nature are perpetually retold. Both Shakespeare's Othello and Mingella's To Talented Mr. Ripley explore these inexorable consistencies and outline the manipulative and Machiavellian tendencies required to achieve power and the consequences of that power as a catalyst for jealousy and the consumption of a facade which can be viewed as the loss of one's humanity. Evidently, quality literature is able to transcend time and remain enduringly relevant as it scrutinizes the human desire for power and the ways in which it detrimentally affects